All right, and I'm live. Hi, everyone. So it's been a minute, but I wanted to come in and do another review. I actually like doing reviews on things that help women, during their cycles um, and things like that. And so I wanted to show you all. I've been seeing this ad on Facebook a lot and then on Instagram a lot. And so I decided to go on Amazon and buy some. And so I end up buying from the name of the company, hold on, is Bam Body. And they are, I'm just going to call them period panties. But they are the Bam Body Absorbent period panties. I got these from Amazon. It was a pack of 3, and I want to say they were like 30 something for the pack of 3. I can't remember the exact, but I know it was $30, but it was not 40. And so I want to go ahead. This is the package that it came in. This is the package that it came in. It's 3. I have one clean pair because I actually used 2 pair. And so this is what I got, the briefs, because I wasn't playing any games and trying to get some bikinis or boy shorts. So this is what they looked like. Now, I want to read y'all because this is very, very important. Hey, I want to read y'all the care instructions on this. The most important thing is to make sure the underwear doesn't dry out. Try to soak or at least rinse soon after wearing. Machine washing and regular detergent is fine. You can wash with warm water, but not too hot, as hot water will damage the waistband and the fabric. If you experience hard to remove stains, rub the affected area with regular soap and soak before washing. Any odor that may arise can be eliminated with a scoop of baking soda. Hey! A scoop of baking soda, hold on, in the bucket in water and soak for a few hours before washing. You can also add vinegar. And it says don't use bleach. Fabric softener is okay, but it slightly reduces the absorbency of the absorbent layer. They recommend line dry. However, if you have a dryer that can be set to low temperature, it is possible to tumble dry without the risk of shrinking. So that means you cannot put these in the dryer on high heat, which is one of the issues that I have. Also, this beautiful care instruction card that comes with it clearly says if you expect a heavy discharge, the use of a sanitary wear is highly recommended. And it says warm machine wash 100 Fahrenheit. Do not bleach, do not tumble dry. So let me go ahead and break down the dynamics of this underwear. So when you go into, any traditional label of your underwear, it's going to tell you what it's made of. This underwear has 3 different layers. It has the bamboo rayon layer, that's the outer layer, the leak proof layer, and then the third layer is the absorbent layer. So this layer, sort of like the layer of the waistband, where the waistband is, where your hip would go, and it's literally divided. There you go. You can see it. It's literally divided into sections. So this, hold on, I want to show this. So this right here, or my finger, this right here would be the outer layer. And over here, anything outside of this little V in the middle is the outer layer. Then next layer is the leak proof layer. So the leak proof layer, just put it to myself, is defined by these seams that are in the middle. When you actually have this, you can pull, and I'll just show you, you can pull that apart. So this is like a double layer right there. That is the leak proof layer right there. Now, the absorbent layer is in the crotch area. The absorbent layer, and you can tell the difference. So when you're physically touching it, this is the outside layer, and then here's the seam right here. This part right here is your leak proof area, and then going in, you can physically feel it. This is your absorbent. So your absorbent area is not that large. It is from here, right here, to the top of my fingers, to down here. This is your absorbent layer, and it covers all of this around here. Now, I use this because I can no longer use, because I have a rare skin condition. I didn't find out that I had it until 2017, which meant I could no longer use pads. And so they, rub my skin raw. And if that's TMI, sorry. But, so I had been exclusively using tampons. The problem with that was in the beginning of my cycle, it's not always very comfortable, and it was very, very painful. So I started looking at the idea of wearing period panties, but I was somewhat skeptical about them. Now, I did use these. I used 2 pairs. And I'll tell you the pros. Let me get back in the shot. The pros of using this is it's very, very comfortable. In this particular brand, the Bam Body that I had bought, it said buy a size up because they fit, they run small, and I should have done that. I wear a size large, and I should have brought a large and a half. But I am on a weight loss journey, so I was just like, I'll just make do with these. But outside of that, the little tightness I felt in the hip portion here, they were very, very comfortable to wear. And again, these are the briefs. I did not, and you can see there's plenty rooms to expand. Like the tightness that I felt, if you get this side that's too small, it's going to be in this region right here around the thigh. It's not going to be in the waist, because this was perfect. I would say that it felt really, really comfortable. I was at home when I first tried these on. It felt really, really comfortable. The problem that I began to have, because I forgot to add this holds, or reports to hold, like 2 tampons worth of fluid. And so you should be able to wear it a little bit longer. The problem I have with that is, like, with cycles, and the odor that may come with it, the natural odor that may come with it, I always enjoyed having a fresh change when I step to the restroom. If you wear a period panty, you may not And especially if you wear pads, you are not getting that level of freshness right after changing. You're still wearing the same absorbent panty. And so there is a likelihood of this retaining odor. Now, I would say I did not experience any odor outside of what was natural. But then again, I was very self-conscious about that. Especially you want to think about with the summertime approaching, and a part of my kit, because I'll just be, since I'm sharing this product, I'll just be very blunt or very open. I sweat. My body sweats a lot. And so a part of like my summertime refreshing kit is that I may have like a little bitty pouch where I have an extra pair of undergarments, some things in there that I can freshen up if I need to. And having like summer sweat on top of my cycle being on, that may not be the better fit for me, especially if I'm out in public and I can't really refreshen myself the way that I want to. The other thing that I noticed is that when there are, especially in the beginning, if there's any clotting that may take place, that may sit on top of the panty, and it doesn't feel comfortable. You feel very, very uncomfortable. And because if you're wearing this out, then it kind of puts you in a position to where you may have to do some maneuvering there to feel fresh throughout the day. Now, I will say I did not feel like wet when I had it on. I didn't feel like a lot of moisture up against my body. That I can say for sure. And when I did check it, it did seem as if the absorbent area was actually absorbing. Now, this is the part that I don't too much care for. As the instructions say, you cannot let these dry out. And so what that means, when you take these off, you have to put them in water. You have to soak them, or you have to rinse them. Now, I will say it wasn't what I expected when I rinsed. I ran water, ran the water over it, and nothing came out. It was just like clear water. And I was like, no, I've been wearing these all day. And so, when I, got the detergent and then I ran some more water and I was wringing it, then that's when I saw it was starting to clean. And it sort of reminded me of cloth diapers and having to, clean out cloth diapers right after they were used and rinsing them out and then, sticking them in the washer and having to hang them up. I actually have a pair of these that I rinsed out, washed in the wash machine, and hung up, and they've been hanging up for 24 hours and they're still not completely dry yet. So that was a very huge turn turnoff for me, because if you think about how many of these would, like, I bought 3. After washing the second pair, rinsing the second pair out and putting it in the washer, I was done. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. It was more cumbersome than it was convenient. And I think when you see these commercials about how economic it is and how good for an environment it is, all that is true. But to have to take this off, rinse it out, throw it in the washer, and then it's not recommended for the ones that I bought. It's not recommended that you throw them in the dryer. You have to hang them out. You have to hang them up. So now I have a pair of period panties hanging up somewhere in my house drying. It just doesn't work for me. I'm not trying to have my undergarments hanging around in my house, and they're not drying quickly enough, because if I only had 3 and that was what I was using, then I wouldn't have them, they wouldn't dry in time for me to use them for the duration of my cycle. So the amount of these you would have to have, the initial investment would cost you a little bit. But I guess the concept, like in the very beginning of my cycle, like I'm at home and I'm not going anywhere, then I will probably use these like the first 2 days, because again, because I use tampons, it can be somewhat painful for me during those first 2 days. And so I will say that day 1 and 2, these made it a lot easier for me, just as far as dealing with the physical pain and not having to use a tampon. But the having to rinse stuff out in my sink and then going back disinfecting my sink and throwing them in the washing machine, and with other clothes, so you don't waste water, and then remembering to grab these out because you couldn't wash them, you couldn't dry them, so that made it inconvenience. Now I know there's other ones on the market that may be better. I did see some by Victoria's Secret, but I haven't checked those out, so it may be just a different brand that's out there that is a little bit easier to use. Would I recommend these? I'm not. I wouldn't feel comfortable in wearing these outside of my home. Another reason why I don't feel comfortable wearing these outside of my home is because if you think about pads, you have really good coverage from, really good coverage, because leakage takes place in these areas and sometimes in the front, just depending. And the actual absorbent area is from here, from where the top of my finger is to right there. Like that is the absorbent area. So basically the crotch of the panty. And for this particular product, I don't feel like this is enough area, coverage area, to feel secure. When I had these on, I didn't feel, I felt the absorbent area like in the front, but I really didn't feel it like moving towards the, the back of my rear, which made me really uncomfortable. And I found myself like checking to see if I had spotted on my clothes or something like that. And I don't think that that is something that any woman wants to do when she's out. And these are things that you're wearing also, so that are physically against your body. So if you're out, and it's hot that day, this can sweat. This will sweat. You will sweat in this, and you can't just take this off. Like if you had on a liner or had on a a pad and stuff, and you were sweating or something, you could take those things off and be fresh. But if this is the only thing that you have on, then you're not going to have that fresh smell that that make you feel comfortable for the evening. So that's the downside that I have to say to that. And that's a huge downside, because when I started to sweat in these, I was just like, nah, this ain't gonna hit it. This ain't gonna hit it. So for personal use in my home only during day 1 and day 2 of my cycle, when it's a little when I am experiencing a little bit more pain and it's uncomfortable for me to wear a tampon, then yes, I will use this in the privacy of my own home. But going out in public, no, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't recommend these at all. It just didn't work. It didn't work for me. And they have different styles. I used the briefs because they were bigger and I wanted more comfort. But they have hipsters. They have bikini briefs. But they don't have. But I didn't see any thongs. So if you look for those, I didn't see those. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend these for this particular brand for outside of the home. So I hope you all just like that brief review. As I can, I'm going to be looking for other things on the market to see, if we like it or not, and bring it to you. But this was a no. I was disappointed because I had high hopes, but I'm glad I reviewed it in the summer because, for a girl like me that sweats, I'm not trying to mix, these odors together during that time of the month. I'm just not trying to do it and then get stuck with this being the only product that I have available. So nah. So that's a no for me. If there's any other product that you all are interested in knowing about, just let me know and I will get it and we will review it. All right. Thanks you all. I appreciate you and I'll talk to you later. Bye.